Hey guys, it's Yophi here, coming to you with a teaching that I believe is controversial but sobering. Let's talk about being a disciple, and I hope that this can relate to you. A disciple is somebody who follows his master and one day replaces his master. When Jesus had his disciples, you have to understand that he was training a replacement. He knew that he was not going to be here always, and that when he left, he would leave his teachings in the hands of his followers. Which is why, in Matthew 28, he told them to make disciples. Notice he didn't say make believers. He didn't say make people who just believe in what we're talking about. A lot of people believe in what Jesus said. That doesn't mean that they follow any of it, right? So the difference between just believing in Jesus and being a disciple is that we understand how Jesus lived, what he taught, and we live accordingly. Okay? So the question is, are you a disciple? Not, do you know what Jesus said? Not, do you believe Jesus died for you? But are you a disciple? Because that is the difference in our lifestyle. See, you might believe in Jesus, and that's great. But if you are not a disciple, then everyone around you can't see what you believe. Oh, you can say what you believe. But remember, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall inherit the kingdom, but they that do the will of the Father. See, a disciple is a follower. A disciple is somebody who actually does what the master does. And that's what Jesus was talking about in Matthew 7:21. If you say that you follow Jesus, but you don't walk like it, you're a liar. John says that. He comes back and says that in 1 John. So, what is the difference? Okay, we know that a disciple walks. How does this relate to us? Well, we have many, sadly, who look more like a disciple of John the Baptist than Jesus the Christ. Well, John was good. He had the spirit of Elijah. What's so bad about John the Baptist? Well, if you notice, John the Baptist, he did baptize Jesus. He did come talking about repentance. But his message changed. And John the Baptist started talking more about the wrongs in others than the goodness of Jesus. See, and I was a victim of this. You start addressing how bad people are, the injustices that people commit. You start addressing that more. Take a look at your social media page, for instance. I've seen people have a post about a church conference, and then the next 10 posts are about how bad the police are, how bad the president is, how bad this person and that person, and conspiracy theories and all of this. We look more like John the Baptist because we mention Jesus, but a majority of our life is about pointing out other people and how bad they are. That is not being a disciple of Jesus, because Jesus's life did not look like that. Did Jesus point out hypocrisy? He sure did. And I believe that as Christians, we do need to be involved in politics so that we can save the nation of where we live. Whether you live in America or whether you live somewhere else, you do need to be involved. You do need to be in the world, but not of the world. However, that does not mean that that is our main fight. The real fight is not against flesh and blood. Why does our social media look like it? Why does our conversation look like it? I hope that this is a challenge. Look through your life and examine your conversations and say, am I representing Jesus? Or am I representing John the Baptist? Remember, John got his head cut off, and Jesus did not raise him back. He raised Lazarus from the dead. He didn't raise John the Baptist from the dead. Why is that? Maybe because John the Baptist got himself killed for doing something that he had no business doing in the first place. It was not his responsibility to correct the king. And if we read Romans, we should know that. We can call out sin for sin, but if your goal is to call it out to make yourself look better or to make them just look bad, that is not our goal. You should call out sin for one reason and one reason only. Why did Paul call out Alexander? Why did he call these people out by name? To protect the saints so that they didn't get involved in the doctrine of what they were doing. Stay away from people like this, because when they do this, it keeps you from learning who God is. Paul did it to protect. He didn't do it just to call people out. Why? Because love does not expose a multitude of sins. What does love do? You already know it. It covers a multitude of sins. So therefore, are you a follower of Jesus today? Because today is all we have. Or are you a disciple of John the Baptist? Examine yourself to see if you be in the faith. And I hope that this challenges you. I hope that you look through your own social media. I hope that you look through your YouTube page. I hope that you look through your job, your sphere of influence, and ask God for yourself. Am I representing you? Because sometimes the only Bible that someone will ever read is your social media page, is your life, is what they see you displaying on your job. Sometimes that's the only Bible that someone will ever read. Is yours worth reading? Does yours lead them to the Master, or does it lead them somewhere else? Think about it. Peace, guys.